Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad. So welcome everyone. This is the fourth lesson of Quranic Arabic. Inshallah, we're going to now start on the third kind of words that we learned. Remember, we have the three kinds of words, right? Oh, by the way, somebody commented on somebody's actually watching the show, the streaming. Somebody commented saying, "You should not say isim. You should say ismun." so,
Oh.
I kind of chuckle a little bit, but he's right. As you saw from the last lesson, the actual pronunciation should be ismun, as not isim. But when people talk, they kind of make it easy for us to use it that way. So people use it. Pronounce it that way most of the time. Anyway, so as usual, we do a quick recap. I won't spend too much time this time, but let me ask you guys first. How many of you who did not have Arabic on the computer was able to set up your Arabic language on your computer? No success, huh? Okay, that's fine. Don't worry about it. I think what we can do, if you'd like, after we close, maybe we can kind of go through the process. That way, you, after the session, will get the Arabic language on your computer, because that's what you need in order to be able to use the dictionary. Yeah. So we won't worry about it too much. So I'll show you the example here that we have. So quick recap on what we studied last time. Let's see if you can find, if you have the dictionary with you, hard copy, that's good. If otherwise, we'll just do it online here. Can you find the words, the root words, okay, and the meanings of the following words from the dictionary? Okay. And by the way, what kind of words are these? Anybody remember? What kind of words are these? Are those
Ism,
ism? Yep. Those are nouns, right? Ism.
because they start with al.
That's right. They start with al. Okay. Some of them don't. For example, this one doesn't, for example. Okay. But it's an ism also, for other reasons, right? We know the reasons why there ism. Okay. So how do we go about? I know that you guys cannot have access to because of the Arabic on your computer, but you know the process. How do we find out the root word of this word, for example? How do we go about finding the root word of this word? Yeah. How do we do it? How do we do it? What is the root word? Now you say hamd, but actually that's not the root word. Yeah, it's not. So how do we find the right root word? What's the process?
It's supposed to be 3 letters.
3 letters, right? We find the 3 letters. We know it's ha, mim, and dal. Okay, all right. And then we need to figure out how it's pronounced correctly. Okay, what is the right pronunciation of that root word? Okay, and the way we do that is we go to the dictionary, right? Now we have the 3 letters, correct? So we go to the dictionary and we look at the link that I shared with you the last time. Anybody remember what the link is? It's ijtal.net. Here's the link there. ijtal.net. Okay, so that's the link that I shared with you. And let me just make it a little bigger so that you guys can see. Well, actually, it doesn't show up very well. Anyway, so ijtal.net, you go there, right? And then you do a search. Right? Remember, we have the three letters, right? Yep. You do a search. Okay. And this is where you use the Arabic letters on your computer. So change the language to Arabic, right? And if you don't know how to use the keyboard, then you just show your keyboard, right? And then type in the word. So ha, right? Mim and dal. There we go. Okay. So just now, Sister Fawzia said the word was hamd, right? You said the word was hamd. Okay, let's see what the dictionary says. So we click on OK. And then we find it on the page. Let's put it aside a little bit. Find it on the page, and there it is. Okay, ha mim dal. It's after this word here. So the actual root word is hamida. That's the actual root word. Okay, it's hamida. Okay, all right. Now, how do you read this? Well, what happens is the dictionary will tell you how it's pronounced. So it's pronounced hamida. What does it mean? Well, it means to praise, to commend, okay, and so on. And that's where hamd comes in after that. So hamd, hamida, remember, the way the dictionary is organized, it's, you'll find out later, actually, we mentioned this already, it's a fi'l. The word is actually a fi'l. All the root words are fi'l in the dictionary. Okay, all the root words are fi'l. So hamida is a root word for fi'l. And hamd is the noun. Okay, a praise, for example, a commendation, for example, like alhamdulillah, right? Or we read al-Fatiha, right? Okay. So that's, let me take a look at my notes here for a minute.
Is it different, the PL and the...
We haven't gone to that yet. Yeah. So we haven't gone to that yet. Remember, my wife was asking what makes the fi'l different from the isim and the harf, right? So as long as we know how isim looks like, and we know what the harf looks like, everything else is fi'l, most likely. Okay, that's how we figured it out, right? Later, I'll share with you some more tips on how to figure it out. Okay. All right. So let's take it now. So the answer to that is Hamida. Here we go. I've got the answers here, which of course, from Hamida, we get Muhammad. Okay. Same word. Hamida is a root word, hamda, and it just adds, you add a meme to it, and it becomes a noun. Okay. So that's how it works, right? Okay, let's do another one. And then we'll just do it. I won't do too many. I just do 2 or 3, and then you guys can do it by yourself. Let's try this one. Al-alamina. Okay, al-alamina. Okay, what do you think the root word is? What are the 3 letters? Anybody can guess?
And Ain, Lam, and Meme.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, Ain, Lam, and Mim. Okay, now the question is, what's the right pronunciation of that verb? Because Ain, Lam, and Mim, remember what we said? The root word is almost always a verb, a fi'l. Okay, almost always it's a fi'l. So the question is, what is Ain, Lam, and Mim mean? Okay, that's the question. All right, so let's go back to our dictionary again. Okay, and we put in the same thing, we search. Okay, so Ain, what was the question? Oh, Ain, Lam, and Mim. So line, okay, you have to figure that out. So Ain, okay, Lam, and Mim. All right. Okay, now let's find it. There we go. We found it. It's right here. Alima. That's the root word. Okay, it comes from the word alima. Okay, now here's how you read the dictionary. So the dictionary says alima, and then there's a word, a 1 here. A 1, a number. What that tells you is that the dictionary is trying to tell you that there are different versions of this. This is the first version. Okay, and there's another version we'll see in a minute. So that's what it's trying to tell you. Okay, anyway, what does it mean? It means, actually, it means he knew. Okay, it means he knew. Okay, or he was informed. Okay, he was informed. He got familiar with something. That's what it means. Just like Hamida. Hamida means he praised. It's in the past tense. Later I'll explain why it's in the past tense. Yeah. So all of this, alima means he knew. He learned. Yeah, have knowledge means to learn, right? So he learned in the past tense. He got familiar. He perceived, for example. That's what alima means. Now you're thinking to yourself, huh, but I thought al-alamin is something else, right? What is the normal translation of al-alamin? Anybody?
Knower of all.
Yeah.
And Al-Alamin, no, it's Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. So Al-Alamin is what?
World.
World, exactly.
Oh,
Okay.
ex-
Al-Alamin is Rabbul Alamin, God of all the worlds, right? So Al-Alamin is world. So wait a minute, where is that to know and you know, he was informed, or he informed, or he learned, has to do with the world. Okay, so this is the power of the Arabic language. Just by changing a little bit, you change the meanings completely, which is also the reason why we better pronounce it right. Because if we don't pronounce it right, we might be saying something else because of the small change in the letter that we're pronouncing. So okay, so what is that? Where did that come from? So in the notes, I added that down here in the notes. So alima, okay. So the raised one that you say there means that there's a homonym. Okay, now a fancy word. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. In English, it's like this. In English, it's like I lie down, I lay down, I lie down, right? And then and I lied to you, using the same word, right? Lie, I lie down, and then I lied to you. Same word, but different meaning. See that? Okay, that's called a homonym. Same shape, but different meaning. In English, there's similar kind of things. In Arabic, it's also the same. So there are some words, yeah, except in Arabic, it's different slightly. In Arabic, the homonym takes the shape of a slightly different shape. So for example, you add one alif, or you add a meme, or something like that, and it changes the shape of the word and changes the meaning of the word completely. Okay. All right. So for example, back to the this one here. Okay. So alima, okay, means he knew or he learned, right? From it, we get a concept. So a concept. So of course, what is it that you're learning? You're learning knowledge, right? Which is where ilm comes in. So when you see in the dictionary something in parentheses like that, that is the concept behind the verb. Okay, that's the concept. So the dictionary would tell you what the concept is. So the concept in this case is ilm. Ilm, of course, we know is knowledge. Yeah, right? Knowledge. So anything had to do with knowledge, right? That is associated with alima. Okay, that's associated with alima. All right. So that's how we do. Okay, now let's find that second version of this. Because remember we had one version, right? Version 1. Okay, there's a second version of it. So where is that? Let's find it. Can't find it here. There's ilm right there. See, ilmun. Ilm is knowledge. So this is, of course, an isim, right? Let's go down. So go next. Let's find it. Can't find it. Oh, there's lots of things here. Alam, almi, alim, all sorts of things here. And then find some more. And then,
To be written number 2.
yep, there it is. Number 2. Okay. So that's the second version, the homonym for alima. Okay. And the homonym for alima here is you add an alif. There's an alif after the ain, right? And it becomes alam. Okay? It becomes alam. So al-alamin actually comes from what? From alam as opposed to alima. Do you see that? Okay. So alam comes, alamin comes from alam. And then the dictionary will say, there's a plural version of it, alimun, for example, right? Al-awalim, for example, here's another version of a plural, right? Awalim. So, okay, what does alam mean? Alam means the world. Okay? Al-alam means the world, the universe, the cosmos, for example. Now it's making more sense. Okay? So when you say Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, you're saying Alhamdulillah, the master of the world. Okay. Now, when you say Alameen, there's another change to it. So I wrote down in my notes here, says, there's ilmun, alam is what we looked at just now, alamun. Okay. But this one is slightly different because that's alameen, right? So alam is the world, Alamin are the inhabitants of the world. Okay, so alam is the world. Alamin are the inhabitants of the world, like human beings. Angels are also included. Okay, jinn are included. In other words, sentient beings. Okay, sentient beings are included in this group. Okay, so I think that's enough for recap. Okay, so so if you can, once we fix your computer, try to do the exercise and try to find the root word of all these words. These words are all from Al-Fatiha. Okay, all from Al-Fatiha. So it should help you appreciate Al-Fatiha more as you understand the meanings of the word, right? Okay, so let's go on. So now we'll go to let's go to the meaning of al-fi'l. Now we go to the actual discussion of what verbs are in Arabic. Okay, so as we saw just now, all the listings in the dictionary starts with a verb. Okay, and I added here, it starts with a verb if it exists. Okay? So there might be words that actually were not derived from a verb. You might find some words in Arabic, but you can't find it because that word is not derived from a verb. Okay, and there are examples of that. Anyway, you see that these words are called al-fi'lu, right? The words are called al-fi'lu. Brother Ayal, do you want to add anything to the definition? What's? Go ahead, brother.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, exactly what you said.
Okay, so basically no addition or no change there. You think is good enough, inshallah.
Yeah, Mahfoud is online unless he has
Oh,
more
there's
to
a
add.
Mahfouz. Where's Mahfouz? Let me see.
Yeah, he's with us.
Mahfouz is there. Yeah. So Abdurrahman is there too. Okay, brother, alhamdulillah. So anybody wants to add anything, please feel free to chime in, okay? Anytime. Allah. Okay, so the definition for al-fi'lu is all words that indicate something that happened, I should say that, happened at a specific time. That's the definition of al-fi'l. Okay, all words that indicate something that happened at a specific time. Okay, now let's go into a bit more of this, a bit deeper. Al-fi'lu, you can categorize it into two different topics. Okay, the first is how the words are made up. In other words, how the words are put together, the letters are put together. That's called conjugation. In Arabic, it's called saraf. Okay? Meaning that how you put ha, mi, da, mim, and dal together. How you add an alif there, a ya there, you need to, whatever, all that. Okay, so all of that, putting those letters together is called saraf. Okay, and this we'll probably learn maybe, I don't know, 3 years down the line. once we go through the basics. But anyway, so that's saraf. Now, the other topic is called nahu, which is what we're learning right now. So we're not even going to touch saraf for another, I don't know, a year, 3 years, whatever. But one other category is the nahu. It is what we're going to learn today. So all verbs are either the following. They're either, remember, that happen at a specific time, right? Which means that you can divide the verbs into these three forms. The first one is called madiyun, okay? Madi, or the past. Okay, the past. Later I'll explain why I call it the perfect, okay? In a minute. The second one, okay? And the reason why it is called the past is because it comes from the word madi, which means it's done, it's past, right? Brother Mahfouz, you want to maybe elaborate on that, or Abdurrahman, anyone on al-madi? No comments on that one?
I just have a small comment in here.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the fa'l al-madi is the verb, gives you the root of the verb itself. When you convert from madi to mudara or madi to amr, you add. But the basic form for the verb itself is in the madi shape.
That's right. That's exactly what we talked about just now. Remember when I said that when we looked at the dictionary, the root word is listed in the madi form. Very good. Thank you, Brother Abdurrahman. Okay. So all these words that you read earlier, Hamida, Alima, that's actually the madi form. Very good. Thank you for that note. Okay. So so that's how the dictionary is listed. Okay? So anyway, so now And then you add something to it, some letters to it, and it becomes mudari'. Okay? It becomes mudari'. Okay? That's the second type of fi'l. And in Arabic, you see, in English, we have past, present, and future, right? In English, right? In Arabic, there's only past and present / future. There's no future on its own in Arabic. Okay? So the third category, and I'll explain the reason why later. The third category is the command, the request. And that's called fi'l al-amr. Al-amr. Al-amr means to ask or to command. Okay? To ask someone, to command somebody to do something. And later we'll look at this in a minute. Okay? Now, let me explain the part about the difference between a maldi and mudari', because people get confused about that a bit. Okay? So maldi means that it's actually not complete. That's what maldi means. Okay? When you say, sorry, maldi means it's complete. I'm confusing you guys. Maldi means it's complete. Okay? Mudari' means it's not complete. Because maldi, remember, means it's done. Right? It's past or it's done. So mudari' means it's not complete. And that's where you get the term, this is the perfect tense, they call it. Why is it called perfect? Because it's already done. It's already perfected. Okay? And then mudari' is when it's not perfected. It's not done. So it's called the imperfect tense. Okay? Now, this is very abstract. So let's go ahead and give you an example straight away, because otherwise you get confused. Okay? So let's take a look at Al-Fatiha.
Brother, I think I have a confusion.
Yeah, go ahead.
I got mixed up.
Yeah.
What are the types of, are these nahu and sarf types of fi'l?
Okay. So if you were to divide them, let me draw them here. Okay. So if I were to draw them, so you got the al-fi'lu. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. You can divide them into saraf. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, you can divide to saraf and nahu.
Mm.
Okay. Oh, I forget what it is. Is it the ha or the ha, brothers? The nahu, I forget now. Is it the ha or the
Ha.
the ha, right? Nahu, right? Like that.
Mm.
Okay. So the al-fi'lu, you got saraf and you got nahu, right? And
Yes.
then in the nahu, that's how you divide.
Okay.
Okay. So one is madi. Okay. And you got a mudari'. Okay. And then you got amr. Okay. So that's how you divide. Okay. What is this? Saraf means how you put the letters together.
Mm.
Nahu means basically grammar.
Okay.
Nahu is grammar. Okay. So that's how it's divided. All right. Back here. All right. Now let me explain to you. The example is probably a good example here. So let me go to Quran now. Let's go to Quran and take a look at Surah Al-Fatiha. Okay. And show the Arabic. Okay, make this a little bigger. All right. So remember what we said about Fatiha. A lot of the verbs are not in the first half, right? Because the first half is almost the ism, correct? It's in the second. Okay. All right. So here's an example of this one here. Na'budu. Okay, is an example of a verb that is incomplete or imperfect. It's not the past. It's still going on. Okay, it's still going on. Same thing with nasta'in. It's also a verb. Okay, and you know it's mudari' in a minute. How do you know it's a mudari'? Here's the tip. Okay, you know it's mudari' or still going on because it starts with, first, either it starts with an alif. Okay, it starts with a noon, it starts with a ya or it starts with a wow. Okay, so remember these four letters. Either starts with a noon, ya, alif, or hang on, I think it's a I made a mistake here. Let me just double check. Brothers, help me out here.
It's واو ألف ياء أحرف العلة.
Yeah. So let's see. I think I put a note. There it is. Okay. Actually, it's the alif, which is the hamza, right? The ya, the noon I mentioned, the ya, and the ta. That's the fourth. So these are the four letters that you can normally find at the beginning of al-fi'lu mudari'. Yeah, or the imperfect. The present tense, in other words, or the future tense. Okay. Now, do you see that here? We do, don't we?
Mm.
Yeah, there's a noon right there. There's another noon right there.
Mm.
So we can kind of tell. We know, for example, that this is, we know it's not an isim, right? Because it doesn't have alif lam, it doesn't have a tanween, it doesn't have a harf before it. Okay, we know this is also a fi'l because same reason. It doesn't have all those signs, and we know it's not a harf. So it's a fi'l. But we also know it's a fi'l because it starts with a noon.
Mm.
Got it? All right. Now, here's a bit confusing here. So I remember I said that sometimes you find it starts with an hamza, right? Well, guess what? There are exceptions. So this one, for example, an anta is actually a maldi fi'l. Okay? It's a maldi fi'l. Now, there's a reason why it's a maldi. It's because of this letter here. So, but we won't go into that right now. But I wanted to show you the words in Al-Fatiha that you can call either maldi or mudari. This our teachers here, is there other words that we can kind of take a look at, that we can say that it's between maldi and mudari to help our brothers and sisters here? Anyone? Mahfouz or Al? Or should I go to another surah? Any suggestions? Let's go to Al-Baqarah. Okay. So that's here's another example. What do you think this is? We know it's a fi'l, right? But
Mudari'.
one, is it a mudari' or maldi, you think?
Mudari'.
Yeah, why?
It has ya in the
It
beginning.
has ya, correct. Okay, it's got ya. What about this one? What do you think?
If it is just yuqimun, I would say it's mudari'. But
And you'll
with
be correct.
ya,
Yeah, you'll be correct. So wa is addition to that. Okay, so wa is a different kind of word. It's not a harf. It's called ataf. So it's different. So yuqimuna.
It's like the and in English.
Yes,
This
it's like
and
exactly.
that.
Yeah, correct. Like joining two sentences. My wife is perfectly right. Okay, my joining two sentences. ويقيمون الصلاة. Okay, so ويقيمون. Okay, very good. Let me what about this one? You guys think? What do you think? We know it's a fi'l, right? We know it's a fi'l because it doesn't have alif lam, doesn't have tanween. Okay, so it's most likely a fi'l. But which one? Maldi or mudari'?
it should be mazi, not mudari'.
Very good. It's maldi. Okay, remember, not mazi,
Maldi.
maldi. Okay, maldi. So it's maldi. It's a fi'l maldi. Because why? Because it doesn't have the signs, right? Doesn't have a ta, doesn't have a what do you call it? A ya, a noon, right? Very good. Okay, maybe one more, right? Let's try one more. Let's see. Let's find if we can find a ta. Let's start with the ta. It'd be nice. What about I don't want to take that one because that might be a bit confusing, everybody. So let's try a simple one here. Anybody see something quickly? Our teachers? It will be useful for our brothers and sisters here. Try to find a maldi. Try and find a maldi here. Oh, I guess you can define mudari too, but something which starts with the ta.
There was one with lam.
Where is it? Where is it? Which one is it?
You go back 3 lines or 4 lines.
Okay, where is it?
Go up,
Up, Momo.
I think more. Wait, it's
Is it this one? Are you looking at
no
this
here. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the one I wanted to avoid, but you're right. So the reason why I wanted to avoid one was because of the tuntur. But it's okay, I think you can use this one, inshallah. So this is, what is it again? Which one is this? Maldi or Mudari?
Dr. Nick,
Yeah.
verse 11, the last word is tufsidu.
Verse 11.
Mhm. No, verse
This
10.
is a bit clearer. Okay. I like this one. Okay. Tufsidu, la tufsidu. Okay, which one is this? Maldi, Mudari?
Mudaria.
Mudari, because of the ta. Very good. La tufsidu. Thank you, brothers. La tufsidu. Okay. La tufsidu is mudari. The meaning is don't. Tufsidu means to spread corruption. Don't you spread corruption. Okay. Fasad comes from the word fasad, which is corruption. So tufsidu, the ta refers to a second person. Hey, you don't spread corruption. Okay. So that's what it means. Yeah. Very good. Thank you very much. All right, let's go back to the lesson now. So now we have an idea, right? We have a better idea. Okay, let's carry on a little bit. Now, this is the next big deal about al-fi'l that is very different from English. Okay, and the next big deal about it is that al-fi'l, the fi'l in Arabic is actually a sentence on its own. Okay, it's actually a sentence on its own. The word, just one word, qualifies as a sentence. Why is that? Because every fi'l already has a doer. Okay? Every fi'l, by definition, okay, already has a doer inside it. It's hidden. You can't really see it, but it's understood. It's inside there. Okay. So let me give you an example. So the example here is remember Brother Mahfuz said just now that all the listing in the dictionary are all, or was it Abdurrahman? Sorry, Abdurrahman. Brother Rahman mentioned that all the listing in the dictionary are all fi'al madi. Remember that?
Yes.
Right? So, okay. Well, a fi'al madi, remember, is like this one here. So let's give an example here so that we can change this to Arabic. And right here, ta. Where's my ta? There it is. Ta, ba. Okay, so here we go. So kataba, okay, kataba. I don't have to, because it's simple, so I don't have to write the harakah in there. So kataba, okay. What does that mean? Remember,
Right.
fi'l madi, right? So it actually means, it doesn't say he write. It means, in English, it means he wrote. Okay, remember fi'l madi? Madi is what again?
Past.
Yes, right.
He
Okay.
done.
Past tense, okay? So he wrote. Well, where did he come from? That's the hidden doer.
Oh.
Okay? So remember, he wrote is a complete sentence. You can put a full stop there and it makes sense. Right? So that's the difference between Arabic fi'l and the English verb. The Arabic fi'l has a inside doer. You call it, okay? You can call it inside doer, okay? So, and in this case, if it's maldi, right? It's, it's in the past, he wrote, for example, this is what it means, okay? Now, if we change that, let's change that a little bit and make this, instead of kataba, let's change that to katabat. Okay, so what's my T? Always forget my T. Okay, there we go. So katabat, and the difference here is that you got a sukoon here that I need to add. Okay, katabat. Okay, so let me get this a little bigger. So katabat is anybody know? Not the teachers, of course, but anybody else? What do you think that means?
Katabat, they wrote.
They wrote. Anybody else have any
Hero.
She wrote. Oh, my wife is right again. Okay, so so here we go. So it's actually she wrote. Okay. Anyway, regardless, you know, it's inside the word is there. We know that there's a doer. In this case, there's a she. Okay, so she wrote. Okay, let's do the mudari because I said that it all has a inside doer, right?
Vivek, I have a question. So,
Yeah.
is adding the "the" at the last,
Mhm.
is that the way you always change the gender in Arabic?
Correct. That's one of the ways. Correct.
Okay.
Yes, that's one of the ways that the gender of the word changes. Correct. And remember, in Arabic, there's gender, which we haven't covered yet, right?
Okay.
So the words actually have a gender. You can.
And there are other ways too that we can change
Correct.
gender.
That's correct. Yeah,
Okay.
there are other ways. Yes, yes. But
Okay.
this is one of the ways is to add a ta. Okay. Some of you may have known, for example, the ta marbuta, for example, right? That's another way that you can add a different kind of ta that adds the changed the gender of the word. Okay? All right. So far it's fi'l what again? Madi, mudari. Which one is this one?
Katabat. Mazi.
Madi, very good. Okay, let's see the mudari version of this. Okay, so the mudari version of this is, remember what starts? What's this, the letter that starts it to make it mudari again? Anybody give me a
Starts with alif, noon,
yeah,
ya.
alif, ya, nun, ta, right? All right, so let's do that. So let's take this and then move it down here and then add a ya to the beginning. Okay, so ya, you add a ya to it. I hope you guys are getting excited about using this Arabic here. I want you to install it if you haven't figured it out yet. But it's important that we do this. Okay, so ya, the beginning. Okay, all right. Now in the dictionary, okay, the dictionary tells you how to add it. So let's go back to the dictionary for a minute so that you know how to use the dictionary to figure out how to put to change the ya here. Okay, so let's go to the dictionary. Where is my dictionary? Here we go. Okay, and remember we were looking for kataba, right? So oops, I need to, there we go. Search kataba. Okay, so we search for it and here it is. Kataba. Okay, and then it says you. Okay, you. What does that mean? What does that you tell you? Okay, that you tells you how you're going to make this the mudari. Yeah, how you're going to make the mudari version of this. Okay, so here u tells you that yaktubu. Okay, yaktubu. So let's add this and brothers, correct me, the teachers here. Did I get it right? Just make sure that I got that one right. Our teachers.
Yes, you got it right, Dr. Nick.
Okay, so yak to yeah, sorry, that's wrong. It's actually the yak, the sukun, to bu. Okay, now this is the mudari version of it. Okay, what do? We just added ya. Okay, and the meaning now changes. Remember, mudari means incomplete, right? Present tense. It's still going on, in other words. Incomplete, imperfect means it's still going on. All right, so how do we show that? How do we show that what is the meaning? How do we translate this into English now? Since we want to make it incomplete or still going on, what do we do? What's the meaning? How should we write this? Assume that it's a male, so it's he. So how would you write it?
He is writing.
He is writing correct. Okay, see that? Yaktubu, he is writing. In other words, still writing. Incomplete. That's where the incomplete, imperfect comes from, right? He hasn't completed his writing. So that's what mudari means. He hasn't completed his writing. Okay? That's why, if you notice in the Quran, over and over again, okay, Allah always uses the word yu'minu. Now, you can kind of tell, right? Yu'minu. What does that tell you? It's mudari, isn't it? Okay. And yu'minu means, amana means to believe, correct? So yu'minu means he's believing, right? He's believing, or in other words, we're still working at it. You see that? So if you read the Quran, and this is amazing, this is how amazing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is, perfect, of course, right? When you hear when you read the Quran, you will find, for example, that when Allah talks about yu'minu, sometimes Allah talks in the negative about them. Okay? Sometimes Allah talks in the negative about them. Why? Because these people are believing, and they're still working on their belief. See that? They're still struggling with their belief. So sometimes they make mistakes and they're weak and they, things like that. Whereas when Allah talks about al-mu'minun, which is an ism, okay, Allah never says anything bad about them in the Quran. You'll find this. When you start reading the Quran, you'll find when Allah mentions al-mu'minun, I mean, even if it's something bad, it's something that, it's like a different meaning behind it. Okay. So al-mu'min is always referring to people who have strong iman. Okay. And their iman is solid. And, in other words, they're not like the yu'minu. They're still not people like still struggling, for example, with the iman. Okay? So that's the difference between the two. And that's how the grammar affects the meaning that we read in the Quran. Okay. Which is quite amazing, isn't it? Okay, so all right, yeah. Question?
You want to say, yep. That's he.
Correct. Very good. My wife again has a great question. So yaktubu, so she says, oh, that's he is writing. Then what happens if you want to change it to she is writing? What do we do? Yeah, you change this to ata.
Taktubu.
Yes, taktubu. Okay, you change it to ata. She is writing. Yeah, I changed the first one. Yeah, because remember the first one, right? So change this to ata. It becomes she is writing. Okay, got it? I know there's a difference. There's a difference there, but it's in the context. But anyway, we'll go there later. But the point is that you have a better idea now. Okay, when you read the Quran, when you see ya, there's a male gender there. The doer is a male, in other words. Okay, when the ta, the ta means something else as well. Later we'll learn, but that's where you change to a female gender. Brothers, teachers, just correct me if I'm saying this wrong. Okay.
No, you're still correct.
Yeah. So if it's maldi, you put it at the end. Katabat. Okay. You put at the end. So already our mind is like, wow, how many combinations are we talking about here? Yes, hundreds of combinations. Right? This is the reason why Arabic is capable of so much depth in meaning, right? Just by changing a little bit here and there, it changes the whole meaning of the whole sentence. And this is the beauty of the Quran. Okay, so let's go on now into the kind of the insight and meaning part of our lesson here. So let's take a look again at Surah Al-Fatiha, and hopefully we have a better insight now when we read Al-Fatiha, right? So let's go to Al-Fatiha, and I'm going to focus on a few of the words here, which I mentioned earlier just now. Okay, so says Iyyaka na'budu. Okay, just now we said that ya is he, correct? And we said ta is what again?
She.
She. What about na? What about noon? Noon means we. Okay, so Iyyaka na'budu is we worship. Okay, so that's what by changing it to the noon, it's still mudari, it's still incomplete. Okay, and that's actually what it means. What it means is, oh Allah, only to you do we continue to worship. We are still worshiping. We will never complete our worship. It will never be complete. Okay, it will never be complete. We'll always be worshiping, we'll always be perfecting it. We'll never be perfect. So that's one of the, you know, what do you call it? Our admission to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay. And the second
Nick,
thing, yeah, go ahead,
Nick, you
brother.
can link it to the main word they trained on, like taktubu, now becomes naktubu. The same thing, the plural.
Correct. That's right. So yaktubu just now, right? So naktubu means we write, right? For example. So here, same thing. So na'budu, we worship. Okay. So what about this one? Same, right? Same. So this is also mudari. Okay. Starts with a noon to mean we. Okay. So it makes sense. Iyaka, or only to you do we continue to worship and always worship non-stop. Wa iyaka, and only to you nasta'in. We continue to ask for help. Okay, we continue. We'll never stop asking for help.
Brother Nick, is naktubu we wrote or we are writing?
Well, we are writing.
We are writing, yeah.
Right. Yeah, we are writing. So just like na'budu, we are worshiping. Only to you we worship, in other words, or we are worshiping. Okay. Wa iyyaka nasta'in. Only you we are asking for help, or we ask for help. Continue to
I
ask.
have a question.
Yeah.
Brother Nick, who is we here? Who is we addressed here to?
Yeah. So the we means all us, the people who are worshiping Allah, the Muslims. Okay.
Okay.
We, and this is the beauty of Islam as well in the Fatiha. Okay? When it comes to responsibility, it is individual. Right? When it comes to responsibility, it is individual. But when it comes to work and worship, we have to do it together. Okay. Na'budu, where we worship together. When we ask for help, we have help. We ask for help together. Okay. So the community, the communal nature of our worship and our, you know, our action is emphasized here in the Fatiha. The fact that, you know, it's said that way. Okay. Again, a beautiful insight, right? And then the other thing is, some people, you know, there are many ways Allah can use. Remember, Allah is perfect. His words are perfect, right? If he wanted to say ask for help, he could have used many other words in Arabic for help. A'un, for example, like a'udhu billah. Okay, I ask. Okay, I ask for help from shaitan, right? A'un, for example, is another word used for help. But Allah specifically uses the word isti'anah here, asta'in. Okay, so let me explain. This is useful because it's important that we understand that not a single dot in the Quran is written in mistake, is revealed in by mistake. Okay, not a single letter. No, if there's a letter right there, the noon is there, the ya is there, everything's there. There is there for a reason. Okay? The fact that Allah uses isti'anah, there's a big reason for it. Isti'anah is not, when you ask for help, let me give you a simple example. So like your car breaks down because you got a flat tire, right? And so you flag down somebody and you say, hey, can you please help me? Right? And then the guy comes and help you, takes the tire out while you sit in your seat and just relax while the guy is helping you out. Okay. So that is not isti'anah. Okay. Isti'anah is your car breaks down, your tire is flat, you go out, you're trying to the utmost, and you can't do it. Okay. And then you flag for help. That's isti'anah. That's the example of isti'anah. What that means is that that's right. When we ask for help from Allah, the help can only come after two things. Na'budu, and then we make an effort. Because included in na'budu is to enslave ourselves, to make an effort first. Okay? When we make an effort first and to the utmost of our ability, only then we ask for help from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that is the way that we live our life as Muslims. Okay? If we do that, then we are living by what we're reading in Al-Fatiha. Because wudu comes first. Right? You could be like, nasta'in, wa iyyaka nasta'in, wa iyyaka na'budun, right? No, Allah didn't. So the word is placed perfectly. Yeah. Na'budu is placed first, and then nasta'in is placed next. Because you have to do the wudu first. You have to make the effort. You have to enslave yourself. Be a slave of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala first. And then you ask for help. So the lesson here is that the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Remember, this is about effort. This is the thing that we, it's a good reminder for me, good reminder to all of us. It does not matter how many people attend this session, for example, or how many people respond to you, for example, as long as you put the effort. Okay? That is what Allah is going to ask from us. The results are with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We leave the results to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I wrote down a few notes here about that. Okay? So, you cannot ask for help without making an effort, right? Isti'anah is help after exhausting yourself. You start the effort. If you don't start the effort, you don't deserve to ask for help. Okay? If you don't start the effort, you do not deserve to ask for help. And the one who gets the help of Allah, right, is the one who makes that effort. Okay? That is the, and this is important also. This also has to do with our understanding of, life itself. Okay? There are two different ways people in life, people see things in life. Okay? There's two extremes, which are both wrong. Okay? The first extreme is when they believe that God does everything. They are like, what do you call it? Something in the wind. They just, a leaf in the wind is just following what Allah has decided. They have no agency whatsoever. They have no ability whatsoever. That's one extreme. The other extreme is a lot of people here in the world today, especially in America, they believe that, there's no God. So everything depends on my effort. Okay? My intelligence, my abilities. It's all about I. What Allah? Right? That's what's happening right now, for example, in a lot of in this country at least, right? So these two extremes are to us, that's not right. Islam balances both. Islam is Allah is asking us to do our best efforts, but we always put in our hearts that the result is always in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay? So we don't get frustrated, right? We don't get depressed. If something doesn't work, it's okay. I've done my best. Right? We don't get frustrated. And we don't rely on results. We don't depend on what we see in the worldly sense. We rely on our efforts. Okay? All right. What did I say about the two types of fail again? You got what again? Two types. First one we learned so far. Al-Madi
and Mudari'.
Mudari'. We haven't seen the third one, have we?
What is the third one?
Oh, yeah. So my wife said, is that a third one? Yes, there is. And what is the third one? Is the request, the command form of the family.
Al-Amr.
Al-Amr, very nice. Anybody see the Amr here? The Amr comes next. Okay. Al-Amr is the request or the command form of the fi'l. Okay. Remember, there's three forms of the grammar. And this is the example of Al-Amr in Al-Fatiha. Ihdina. Okay. Ihdina. Ihdi, actually. Na is us. Okay. So ihdi is the word. Okay. Ihdi means guide us. Ihdi means guide. It's a request from us. Okay. It's a dua that we make. So this is the third fi'l, third type of fi'l that is in Arabic. Okay. So ihdi, guide. And of course, na means, we know that already. Na means us. Okay. There we go. Lots of things we learned today, mashallah. So let's see what else I need to okay. One more just final thing I think is kind of nice here. So it's related to this here. Just Ihdina as-sirat al-mustaqim. Notice that and this is something that I just realized. I didn't know this until I kind of learned about it, right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us everything, even if we don't ask it for it. We know that, right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us everything, even though we don't ask for it. Allah gives us the ability to breathe. Have you ever asked Allah, "Ya Allah, please let me breathe"? No, I don't think any of us has, right? Ask Allah, please allow me to breathe. We haven't, we don't. Okay? Allah allows us to breathe. Allah gives us the ability to breathe. Allah gives us the ability to see. Allah gives us Allah says, you'll never be able to count all the things that Allah gives us. Right? So the only thing that Allah will not give you unless you ask, okay, is guidance. If you do not ask for guidance, Allah will not give it to you. If you do not, remember, let me repeat that. If we do not ask for guidance, Allah will not give it to us. Unlike the other gifts that Allah gives to us. And that's why it's in the Fatiha. We say it 17 times a day at least. Ihdina as-sirata al-mustaqim. Guide us, Ya Allah, to the straight path. Okay? So I think that's the final thing, kind of insight that I wanted to share with you. May Allah. Let's open for questions. We have a few minutes here. So any questions about al-fi'lu? Al-fi'l again. And brothers, the teachers here, Jazakumullah khairan, very good. Thank you so much for your help.
Brother Nick, a quick question. So when we were placing the ta at the end, like katab or
Katabat.
katabat, like
Correct.
he wrote and she wrote,
Correct.
then what would be we wrote?
Katabna.
Oh, katabna. Okay.
Yes. So the na at the end
Okay.
means we wrote. Yeah. Just
Okay.
like
Neka was gonna bring one, which is when
Yeah,
when it
go ahead.
was katabu. There's katabu. They wrote
Yes. So that's something we'll learn in the future, inshallah.
in the future. Yeah.
Yeah. Remember the different ways that we can combine the letters, the saraf part of it. So katabu. We will also learn that also in the Nahu grammar as well, which is the plural version of these. Remember, katabat is she, individual, right?
Mhm.
Kataba is he, individual. Katabu is, guess what? Is the group, is the plural. Okay? So that's when the plural comes to the picture and it changes the word a little bit, just like katabna, for example. Okay? And another one is, for example, is when you add what about first person? I, for example. How do you say I wrote?
Aktubu.
Aktubu is I am writing. But you're right.
Aktaba.
Yeah, aktubu is I am writing. Very good, Fazia. Okay. So aktubu means I am writing, but I wrote is katabtu. So there's a tu at the end. So when you add the ta at the end, as opposed to katabat, which is she wrote, you say katabtu, which is I wrote. Okay, like salaitu, I prayed already. For example, when you say salaitu or katabtu. MashaAllah. Alhamdulillah. So, very good. Any last questions?
Are you sharing these notes on the website?
Yep, it'll be uploaded. Yeah. So just like the previous one, oh, that's brother. So the previous one, the notes is under the YouTube link there. So the notes will be there, inshallah, once I upload this to the website, inshallah ta'ala. Okay, brothers and sisters, Jazakumullah khairan. Thank you again, our teachers,
Everybody.
for their time,
Thank
for
you.
their knowledge.
Jazakallah khairan.
Barakallahu feek. Let's close with the dua. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. In Surah Al-Asr, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wal 'asri innal insana lafi khusr illa alladhina amanu wa 'amilus salihat wa tawasaw bil haqq wa tawasaw bis sabr. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Walaikum
Assalam.
Oh, sisters, who want to stay to get their computers, you can stay back if you want to, inshallah. You want to stay to set up your computer on Arabic if you want to do that. Okay, so let's do this. Let's see. Who wants to go? Like who would like to start? To share their screen and then I can kind of,
I can go first.
yeah, go ahead. This is Fawzia. So share your screen, and then I'll show you how to get going into Arabic then.
Do you see my screen?
Yep. Okay. So we're gonna add the language. So I think let's go to settings. Let me just double check here, because yours is what version? Oh, let's check your version first. Go to the Apple, and then check the info. Click on it, and then click the Apple, and then there should be there we go. You are Sonoma. Okay, Sonoma 14.1. That's what I need to do. It's an Apple M1. Okay. So that's our language. Let me just make sure find out there, because they change every time so the rest of you who have a Mac can follow this as well. So add language to Apple Sonoma. Okay. Okay, so go to system settings, preferences, I guess. So go to system settings. All right, and on the left there should be actually text in keyboard on the left. Select keyboard on the left. Yeah, scroll down. Scroll down. There should be a keyboard there somewhere.
Oh, here is the keyboard.
Yep. Okay, and then on the right it's called text input, and there's input sources in the middle there. You see text input.
Yeah, there is text replacement.
No, go to edit next to US.
Edit.
All right. Now on the bottom left, there's a plus sign of that
Plus.
window. There's a
Where is-
plus sign. There's a tiny plus on the left of that window. You see that on the left side? Move your cursor to the left on the bottom left. Bottom
Oh, sorry.
left. Yeah. Okay. All right. There we go. Arabic. Click on Arabic on the left. That's it. So choose. I choose two. You can choose two. Go ahead and choose Arabic. Just Arabic. Top there. Choose the first one. The first one. Okay.
Okay.
Add. Click add. Okay, and then choose Arabic again. Just two kinds of Arabic. Basically, you got two kinds of keyboard. So Arabic again.
Oh,
Yeah. I'm adding two kinds of keyboard here. So the bottom one, the QWERTY. Okay. So the difference between the two is that the keyboard is arranged differently. That's all it is.
oh,
Now click add. Go ahead and click add. Okay, done. That's it. Okay, so now let's open up your Word, Microsoft Word.
okay. Oh,
Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Go to Microsoft Word. Do you have Word there? There we go. Okay, click on it. Yeah. Okay. Do you notice that there's a new icon on the top? Do you see that? The A there in the menu.
A, where
Not
is
that one.
A?
Minimize that to go to the minimize, or just minimize so that you'll be a window that you're not. So it doesn't go full screen. Don't make full screen. Okay. Okay. Do you see that A at the top there?
A, yes.
That's the language.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I think
so
I started.
yeah. So now click on any of the Arabic. Okay. Now go back to the A. Go back to the language panel there. Then show keyboard viewer.
Oh,
Now you have Arabic on your computer.
yes.
Okay. Now go ahead and click a few letters, whatever. You have to move it around a bit so that you can see where you're typing. Yeah. So let's do Kataba, for example. Just click on Kataba. So press delete to correct.
Delete.
Just the normal delete on the keyboard. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay. Now type Kataba. Ta.
where is the? I can't see it.
The middle. Yeah. By the bottom. Now, when you use the QWERTY, okay, it's actually very similar to the QWERTY means it uses the phonetics. So Ka is a K,
Okay.
T on the keyboard. Ba is the B on the keyboard.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And there we go. You got the Kataba and you can change everything and all
Perfect.
set. All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sister Hwaza. Yeah. Assalamualaikum.
Walaikum assalam. Thank you.